the foundation.
You know the kind of cement I'm using in this foundation? I guarantee you even my grandchildren will come and find this house.
Muzaffaru, the day I decide to build, in fact, I will import the foundation into the country. By the way, your security lights, they are very small. Me, when I build my house, I will put a motion sensor.
As you can see, the living room, I managed to bring in some tiles.
And I told you, when I build my house, I get tiles from Italy raw, bring them here, original. This nonsense of having one TV, me!
Some people talk about building houses. Others build them. Do you have land?
I am working on it.
You buy your buy today and get the job done. Strong, reliable, available at hardware shops countrywide.
Yes.
It hasn't been easy at all.
No.
But with your buy, chiba chibwa.
So you buy, you buy.
Makerere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses like accounting and finance, procurement, journalism, tailoring and fashion design, with many other skills tailored courses.
Our institution is compliant. First of all, it is recognized by National Council for Higher Education. We are certified. The registration number is UBB 187.
Tested and tried since 1995, Makerere Institute for Social Development is your solution when it comes to quality education.
You may apply for January, May, August intakes. Find us along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, opposite Makerere University Sports Ground. Our tuition is affordable with a state-of-art facilities. Early birds stand a chance to grab themselves bursaries. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
I'm by the name Frederick Wanyama. I'm the Chief Warden of Lekimboro Conservation Area. Lekimboro Conservation Area is one of the conservation areas managed by Uganda Wildlife Authority, and it consists of Lekimboro National Park and the neighboring ranches, as well as other districts neighboring Kiruhura, Isinjiro, Masaka, Rakai, Chotera. Because all that area we manage it because of human wildlife conflict in those areas. So this is the center for managing that wildlife area. Lekimboro National Park is a gazetted area, and at first it began as a community hunting area way back in the 1933s. Later on it was upgraded to a game reserve. That was around 1963, 1964. It became a game reserve, and later on it became a national park in 1983. When it became a national park in 1983, it had an area of about 650 square kilometers. But later on in 1986, the size was reduced to 370 square kilometers. So that was a reduction of around 56 or 57%. But still, we remained with the what? A national park. So, this national park is a nice park. It consists of rolling hills, of course, and it has savanna, grasslands, it has the acacia woodland, and it has the wetlands, so as well as the lakes. So it offers a unique ecosystem in this area. So given those different ecosystems, we have different wildlife species that are into Lekimboro. One of them are in the impalas. Of course, impalas previously they were not found anywhere else. They only found in what? In Lekimboro National Park. But later on, there was dispersal through translocation. So Lekimboro acted as a dispersal area, taking impalas to different protected areas like Pianupe, like Katonga. So those were impalas. We also have elands here. Elands are found in only 3 protected areas. Lekimboro is one of them, as well as Kidepo and Pian. So Lekimboro also gave a seed of elands to Kidepo Valley National Park. Then we have other wildlife like the leopards, the buffaloes, the oribis, the topis, And you know top is also found in very few protected areas. Just here, Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Elizabeth only in the Shasha sector, and also Pianope Wildlife Area. So that's basically what Lake Mburo is. So Lake Mburo offers different packages for the visitors. We have what we call game drives. We have the day game drives, which begin around 6:30, and the evening ones begin around 4 p.m. for visitors to enjoy seeing the wildlife in their pristine environment. The other thing we have here are the night game drives. Of course, the night game drives are important for visitors to see the nocturnal animals. Nocturnal, mostly these are the hyenas, the bush babies, and well as the leopards. So night game drives are of recent catching up. People are coming in a lot for the night game drives because of the leopards and the hyenas. Then we have cycling, of course, and horse riding, which we do hand in hand with stakeholders of Mohingo Lodge. Then also we have the boat cruises. Boat cruises are normal. You go to the boat cruise and you see the different water species within the lakes. The hippos, the crocodiles, as well as the water birds, African fish eagles, and the pied kingfisher. Then also we have the nature walk. We do nature walks here, guided nature walk, because you know visitors walking alone in the park without rangers can cause a threat, because most of them don't know animal behavior. But with a trained guide, you can be guided well for the nature walks. So all that are offered by Lake Mburo Conservation Area. Of course, we have challenges as a park, and one of the challenges is the human-wildlife conflict. You know, boundaries of protected areas are porous, and the land is continuous. And we all know that wild animals don't know boundaries. So wild animals go out of the protected areas, and they cause human-wildlife conflicts in form of injuries to people, damage to crops, and also damage to other property, for example, dams. Of course, the neighboring community, most of them are pastoralists and farmers. The pastoralists have their dams for watering the animals, but sometimes they can wake up in the morning and they find hippos in the pools. So hippos are both a threat to them as well as the animals. We've had, of course, some death from hippos in the community. We've had also some death of wildlife, I mean domestic animals, caused by our leopards, and also crop damage by buffaloes. So the most problematic animal here is the hippo, followed by the buffalo. Those are the major ones doing what? Human-wildlife conflict. But we try to do some interventions. For example, in areas that are far away from the protected area, we teach the communities how to manage this wildlife. Of course, hippos, for example, if you put trenches around your farms, hippos won't cross into your farm, and that has been done. Also, there's some short fences, short good fences. When you put them, the hippos can't cross to your farm, as well as fencing. So those are some of the protective measures that we are putting into place into the local community areas to deter wild animals injuring them. So Lake Mburo itself is 370 square kilometers, but neighboring pastoralists, and pastoralists of course have vast land where their cattle graze, but in their land also we have wildlife. So our wildlife is both inside the park and outside. Approximately 50% of the wild animals are in the ranches, while the other 50% are in the what? In the protected area. So what we do is normally we encourage the pastoralists to coexist with the wildlife, and usually they do that, they coexist with the wildlife. It's only that there's land use change in some areas neighboring the park where people are now doing farming, And this change in land use brings also a lot of conflict, because animals go out and eat the what? The crops. Okay, but also the other challenge we have is the grazing. Much other animals go into grazing outside. There's also illegal grazing by the pastoralists inside the park, which is not allowed. So we try to curb that illegal grazing by either arresting the cows and then they pay the fines. As well as also we have poaching. Poaching, of course, like we said, wild animals are on the farms. So some poachers take advantage of that because of the low ranger force that can operate on the farms. So they do what we call poaching on the farms. And as well as we have the Naki Valley refugee camp. People normally, the refugees do sometimes cross inside the park to do poaching. But we are vigilant and we try as much as possible to stop that. Then the other challenge we have is the sort of encroachment within the park. We have the Kizimbi area that is near Rakobo. In this area, there are people who are settled in the park. Okay, but these people, of course, will be compensated and they will go out. So the Uganda Wildlife Authority is working on modalities of how to compensate these people such that they can leave the parkland and go and live elsewhere. So that is in pipeline and we are working on that. So those are the sort of the 4 challenges: human wildlife conflict, poaching, illegal grazing, and encroachment. Now, on some of the conservation successes we've had here is we introduced giraffes here, and that was in 2015. We brought only 15 individuals of giraffes, but due to the environment they came in, it was very, very conducive. Food is in plenty, water is available, and these ones range only within the what? In the protected areas. They have not started going into community land and ranches. And currently we have a population of over 90 giraffes. So that is really what? A success story. And it has boosted tourism. Okay? Most of the visitors, when they're coming, they want to see the giraffes. And the giraffes are readily available. Okay? Even you, when you go for a game drive, you readily see the what? The giraffes. So that's one of the success stories we've had here. And yeah, the giraffe population is increasing. And when it reaches a certain level, still we can donate it to other areas. The other range of animals that visitors can see are the zebras. We have a lot of zebras, lots of herds of zebras, both within the park and outside. So these ones are also readily available and they can be seen whenever you go for a game drive. Their distribution is wide within the what? The ecosystem of the park. So in whichever area you go, you'll be able to see what? Zebras. So given the proper management of Lake Kimburu National Park, animal population is on increase, is steadily growing. So this growing population has enabled other protected areas to benefit from Lake Kimburu. For example, zebras have been translocated from Lake Kimburu to Katonga. And the Katonga population is also now doing well. So visitors who go to Katonga are also well catered for. Then also we have the Topi population. The Topi population here is at a minimum, but we are able also to do what? A translocation to other areas, especially Katonga. Like I said before, we did a translocation of elands from here to boost the population of Kidepo, because there are only 3 parks with elands: Lake Kimburu, Kidepo, and Pianupe. We've also done impala translocation to other protected areas, because the impala population here is very, very, very great. So we've taken impalas to areas like Katonga, and also as far as Karamoja region in Pianupe conservation area, and they're doing well. So that is sort of the export of what? Of wild animals. We've only not done it for the what? For the national park, but also we've given other stakeholders like CTC, conservation through commercialization. This is sort of a zoo conservation area that is based in Impigi. We gave it animals from here. We gave them, for example, 12 toppies, 6 water bucks, and also some impalas, as well as a zoo in there's a zoo in Mbarara that has also benefited from wildlife from here. So all this is geared towards conservation values, such that people can also see these animals in another setting. Local communities around the park are benefiting. One of the easiest benefits they're getting, of course, is resource access. Okay, there's resource access here. When they want things like firewood and poles for building their houses or building fences for the farmland, they approach us and they are able to access the resources. Then the other benefit they get from the park can be through sport hunting. Like I said, other animals outside the protected area. So sport hunting is majorly done in the ranches outside. So when they do sport hunting, there's a benefit that goes directly to the community. So that is one other way communities benefit. Then also we have revenue sharing. The revenue sharing, 20% of the gate collections go to the local community. That's by law in the Wildlife Act, Cap 315. All revenue, 20% is supposed to go to the community. So this revenue is used by the community in different forms. They have been able to improve on their school blocks or build new school blocks. They have been able to build hospitals or wards, and they have also been able to improve on their water system, as well as their livelihood, because some of the money can go to livelihood. People can be given goats or cattle, cows, to improve their livelihood in homes. Then also there is access to the fishing village called Rubare. Rubare is inside the park, and people are allowed to do fishing. So this also benefits home income of these people. And as they're doing fishing, we encourage them to have associations. So they formed an association where they collect money as a group, and this money is used for their development outside the park, because in future they will of course have to go away sometime. So this benefit shouldn't be only present, but it should also be in future. So the benefits they get, we encourage them to do associations, and the money they keep, they do enterprises outside that help their homes. So in terms of roads, we have what we call the internal road network, the tracks and internal road networks. Those tracks and internal road networks are done by UWA management. So park management does the internal roads such that visitors feel at home when they're on the road. Then there are those roads that lead towards the park. A road like Sanga, the road from Sanga Town Council to Sanga Gate. That's an external road that is supposed to be dealt with by the local government. And also the road from Chapa or from Kaget to Shara Gate. Those are roads that are supposed to be maintained by by the local government. So if the local government wants, because the park gives them revenue in form of revenue sharing. So if they want, they can turn some of the revenue sharing money into maintenance of the roads. But I know the districts have their money which they can use to do those roads. However, as the Ministry of Tourism, there are some roads that need to be worked on, such that visitors feel at home. And these roads have been identified all over the UWA estate, in Windy area, in Queen Elizabeth, and I think even here in Lake Embu Road. These roads like the Sanga Road, the road from the main road up to Sanga Road, if it is tarmacked, it will enhance to the tourist, as well as the road from Akagate to the park. They will ease the visitor turn up in the park. We know Lake Embu Road, the way it is located, it's located around 4 to 3 cities. Of course, Kampala city is near here, 4 hours drive. We have the Mbarara city, which is 30 minutes drive. We have the Masaka city, 30 minutes drive, and also the Fort Portal city. You know, Fort Portal city is, we used to call Fort Portal a primate city because of Kibale National Park. So visitors from the Kibale National Park can easily come here to do now the savannah part of it after seeing the primates. So if these roads are properly done and networked, they can ease visitor movement. They can ease visitor movement coming into the park and going out. So the volume of visitor turn up can be increased through proper road maintenance and working on them. Yeah. So currently for Lake Mburu, our general management plan has ended, and now we are in the process of making a new general management plan, which is going to run for the next 10 years. So in our general management plan, we are looking at new products that visitors can come to see here, which can boost growth of the of tourism. And when I'm talking about boosting tourism here, I can give a background. Previously, around Lake Mburu, there never used to be lodges and hotels. There were just very few. The first few used to be Montana and Arcadia. But as we talk now, we have several lodges around Lake Mburu and also within Lake Mburu. We have places like Chigambira, Chigarama, now Arcadia, Montana, Mihingo, Eagle's Nest, Rakobo. So many are coming up, and this coming up of the different, now these are different stakeholders who enhance tourism here. So with continued marketing, we shall see more tourism booming around, and also different products. We want products like the hiking. We want hiking. We've not been doing hiking here. We want new products like butterflies. Butterflies, okay, we want butterflies within Lake Mburu as a tourism product, and these will be coming. Of course, we have already things like cycling and so on, but also we shall do rock climbing, or rock scaling. So different products are going to be brought into Lake Mburu for the sake of building or enhancing tourism. And as we enhance tourism, of course, the revenue will be growing for the park, as well as the 20% that will go to the community. So the communities will also be benefiting. Lake Mburu National Park, when you come here, you feel at home. You come to rest, you come to relax. Therefore, I'm calling upon the locals within the country, instead of going to places like Mombasa or going to places like Zanzibar, there's a haven here for resting. You will feel at home. Just looking at the animals in the wild, you will feel at home. So I know the domestic tourism here is a bit improving. For example, in 2023-2024, we had around 10,000 local tourists, but those are East Africans. And in 2024-2025, we've had around 11,000. So there's an increase in visitation from the locals, but we are encouraging them to continue coming. The students, for them, they are increasing in coming because they are benefiting. One, to exactly see what they are studying in schools. They come and see the real thing in the wild, the scenery, and they enjoy the thing. So we encourage more to come and see the pristine environment within Lake Mburu National Park. Now I would like to thank our board, the Board of Trustees of Uganda Wildlife Authority, that are headed by Professor Kalema, for having enabled us or given us a strategic direction that Lake Mburu is following, and the organization at large. I would also like to thank Dr. James Musenguzi, he's our Executive Director, for the guidance he has given us in management of these protected areas. Of course, he gives the guidance and also makes sure we get the fund to run the park. Without proper funding, then you can't do anything within the park. You wouldn't be having staff accommodation, staff wouldn't be comfortable. Recently, he enhanced the salary of the staff, and that was a plus, and people are now working very hard with one heart. Then lastly, I would like to thank the government of Uganda. Of course, the government of Uganda has provided peace, entire peace within the entire peace within the country. Without peace, wildlife cannot thrive. We know what happened in the 1970s. In the 1970s, there was unrest, and during that time, all the wildlife completely went down. This building of wildlife back started in 1986 when peace returned, and the populations are stably growing, and as they grow, also the park is growing in visitation numbers and also in different products. Thank you for listening to me. I encourage you to come to Lake Mburu to view the wildlife and enjoy the scenic view of the place here. You will feel at home for God and my country. Thank you very much.
The Lens program on UBC TV is proudly brought to you by